Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Raitu Majlihuge Environment and Climate Change Committee ge garwana baddaluma meha memberunna marhaba danna. Baddalum Kuriya Midani Committee Room Faheg Meduge Tarihe ke gar August de has fan service gadiye ke gar gadi fanar. Meduge Jalsaga baddalumuga meoti UNDP ya eko committee kuravidana masekketaka gole gotu UNDP ge befurna baddal kuravu. Meagut committee hazira wadan tibbe alun mafanu dekunu daira member Abdullah Rifa Hulmali medu daira member Abdullah Shazim mafanu hulangu daira member Muhammad Mustafa Tinadu dekunu daira member Alsan Ahmad Funadu daira member Muhammad Mamdu meha hisabu UNDP wadan tibbe befurna dawataro. Thank you very much. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for the late start since suddenly they decided to have the vote at 11, so we had to participate in the voting. This meeting we requested UNDP just to see what we can do together, what kind of help we can, what kind of assistance we can get for our work through UNDP. We will go through a small presentation on what we are tasked to do here. We are the Environment and Climate Change Committee, established on 11th June 2019 during the last Parliament. One of the standing committee of the People's Majlis consists of 11 members. At the moment, some of our members are out of town because of President's visit to the islands. This is the only Parliament committee in the People's Majlis dedicated exclusively to address the environment and climate change issues. Our main mandates are to examine and study all matters related to the environment and climate change and take necessary measures, oversee the work of Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation, Ministry of Environmental Protection Agency, Maldives Meteorological Services, Utility Regulatory Authority, Ministry of Environment. I think it is a mistake. It should be Ministry of Environment and Tourism, not Transport and Civil Aviation. But some of our work are related to them also regarding some cases. Other institutions related to climate change and the environment. Advise these institutions regarding their functions and fulfill other responsibilities mentioned under Article 130 of Standing Order. Key highlights of the committee's work: bill review, climate energy bill. These are the bills under our committee: climate emergency bill, water and sewage bill, energy bill, utility regulatory authority bill, waste management bill. review climate change related resolutions, address environmental concerns raised by the public, and post legislative scrutiny last during 19th Parliament with the help of WFD. We did a climate emergency act post legislative scrutiny, but the report is not out yet. And ongoing initiatives, we are going through the issue of unpaid environmental damages fines. We have noticed that there is like 600 over million fines, but none of them are received. So we want to see what is the major issues for this. And we have met all relevant authorities, and we are coming up with the report soon. And responding to concerns from islands, some of the island councils have sent their concerns regarding sewage, water systems in there, and also electricity issues. And we have worked with the relevant authorities to get solutions for this. We were managed to get a good solution for Velidu Council also recently. That's all. Thank you. And we would like to give opportunity for UNDP to.
Thank you very much for the invitation to this meeting, Mr. Chair. For UNDP is the largest development agency of the United Nations system, and we are mandated to support the countries in their advancement towards the Sustainable Development Goals as stipulated in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And of course, UNDP, we have our mandates to collaborate with the host country, with Maldives, through our country program document, which is on a 5-year cycle, and the current cycle started in 2022 and is expected to complete in 2026, which means that we will be very soon in embarking a new formulation process of the new country program cycle, which is expected to start in 2027 and have another 5-year cycle. So the whole country program signifies our cooperation framework with the government of Maldives. And the mandate is very aligned with the national development priorities of the country. So related, we currently, in the current country program, we have 3 main development focus or development priorities. One is on democratic governance, which we do have ongoing collaboration, very close collaboration, in fact, with the parliament. Yeah. So as, for example, we have a practice parliament for youth and practice parliament for women series, which has been ongoing since 2021. At the same time, the second development priority areas is actually about sustainable and also inclusive economic growth, especially in the context of small island developing states and an upper middle income country. And in these areas of work, we look at how to have an effective public finance management and enabling financing for development, covering sectors like environment, climate change, disaster risk management, as well as how to make sure we can help Maldives in terms of accessing international finance through fiscal space improvement. For example, currently we do have a collaboration on bulk procurement, for medicine and in other areas like renewable energy. The third one, of course, will be on resilience and climate change. So here we support mainly, of course, we collaborate with the Ministry of Tourism Environment to look at certain policy environment enabling conditions to help certain agencies, line agencies under the ministry to enable they are better equipped to address their mandates. For example, in the area of biodiversity, so we support the country in reviewing the National Biodiversity Strategies and Action Plan and to update. So and also to support and enhance the capacity of these public institutions in terms of fulfilling the country obligations with the multilateral environmental agreements. For example, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, and many, many other, environmental treaties. So that's one. But we also look at working with the communities, the island communities, in advancing some of these environmental and climate change actions on the ground. So through our small grants program, and currently we also have working with the Maldives Meteorological Services and also National Disaster Management Authority in advancing the work in disaster risk resilience. Of course, I will let my colleagues, because they are more, they work very closely with these government counterparts and authorities. So if you need to have more details, we can elaborate further. Yeah, thank you.
If you want to add anything.
Thank you very much, Pek Chuan. My name is Yasmin. I am heading the governance portfolio of the UNDP Maldives Country Office. As Pek Chuan had briefly highlighted, among the work that we are doing under the governance portfolio, our work with the People's Majlis is one of the crucial areas of our work. Practice Parliament, of course, is the more popular, more external-facing program that has been a continued partnership from 2021 onwards. So that is something that we are, a collaboration that we are very appreciative of, and that has really grown over time as well. On lesser public-facing work, the governance stream also has interventions in the area of connecting people with the Parliament. So for example, two of the very critical work that we are doing right now, one is on introducing an e-petitioning system to the Parliament, which would create a more accessible avenue for citizens to submit petitions to the Parliament. Currently, it's a very manual system, but we are supporting the Majlis in making it more accessible by creating this electronic pathway for petitioning. The second one, similarly to the petitioning, is to develop a public commenting portal, which would once again transform the current commenting process that is there on bills and amendments and regulations and resolutions as well. So both of these avenues would create further enhancement of the relationship between the Majlis and the people that it serves. So these are the main ongoing work that we have with the People's Majlis, but generally we have ongoing and consistent collaboration over the past years with the Majlis, and we are certain that it will keep expanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Pek Chuan and Yasmin. My name is Hadija. I am currently heading the Climate Change and Resilience Unit at UNDP. I think Pek Chuan has already highlighted some of the major ways in which we work with the government, especially in the area of climate change and resilience. A lot of these interventions actually fall under four main priority areas. One is reducing carbon footprint in priority sectors, enhancing climate change, climate resilience and DRR concepts into development planning, and as well as working with various sectoral ministries to strengthen policies, regulatory framework on sustainable waste and water management. And then as Pek Chuan mentioned, we also have an arm of work that is operating at the ground level through our small grants program, so increasing engagement of civil society, communities and individuals on climate action. We work not only with the Ministry of Tourism and Environment, but with a multitude of partners on all of these areas. Very happy to go into details if you have any specific questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pek Chuan, Yasmin and Hadija. Now I will open the floor to any of our members who might have any questions. MP Mohammed Mamdu, Funadu constituency.
Thank you, Sean and team. There's a green waste management kind of program that UNDP started with WEMCO, I think, years back. And WEMCO is trying to start their service in numerous islands, especially they have a plan in starting in the capital of each atoll by the end of this year. My question is, what are the plans were made to regarding these plans, or the plan was implemented in only in Malay region, or it's based on the all the islands, all the atolls?
Our current collaboration with WEMCO is mainly targeting on the plastics waste, yes. And looking at the whole cycle of managing the plastics waste. So we started off with some resources, very, I would say, moderate resources, which is why the focus is on the Greater Malay region. But currently now the program is being expanding. We are in the discussion with WEMCO to identify if there's any other, islands or even atolls where we can replicate some of these results that we managed to achieve during the phase 1 of the plastics waste management project. So this is still ongoing in discussion. Once we will have the list of islands, then, beyond the Greater Malay region, we will share with the committee.
I would like to ask whether there is any program within UNDP that we can get support on human development. Since we are all very new to this area, we want to know more about, is there any possibility that UNDP can help to get us some of the conferences, accessibility, COP summit, something like that? Is there any possibility that UNDP can support our team's members to participate in any of the conferences like that?
We do have support, drawing lessons from other countries and also some of our ongoing work. We do have support to sort of equip the parliamentarians in terms of the knowledge building in the area of environment, climate change. But as for the actual participation in the conference of parties, that's pretty much our resources is very, very limited. Yeah. Which is why, and most of our projects have been committed for other priority areas in accordance to our partners and also donors' requirement, which is why, but of course, we will always, if there's any specific, request about, capacity building and actual participation in the conference of parties, something that we can, open for discussion and see. But currently, our resources available for this kind of, delegation participation is very limited.
Ibrahim Naufal, the Deputy Chair of this committee from Mulaku constituency.
Thank you. I would like to ask you, UNDP, how UNDP can work furthermore in building our renewable energy sources, since this government is very much this government looks forward to building more renewable energy, and our president has pledged to convert the current around, I think, 30%. 30% by the end of the term. He wants to uh, produce electricity through renewable methods. So how can UNDP guide or help us to achieve our goals and targets in the renewable energy sector? Thank you.
UNDP mainly work on two areas. One is basically creating the policy and also the enabling environment in terms of creating policies, creating regulatory framework, as well as exploring fiscal financing options instruments to enabling the Maldives to have a successful transition into a clean and renewable energy. Currently, we do have an ongoing program where we work on exploring and also doing feasibility on the financing instruments available to encourage more private sectors or even tourism sector players to embrace and also adopt renewable energy transition. So that's one. Of course, my colleague here, Zayan, can elaborate a bit more on that particular area. And the second area, we are currently in the process of identifying some islands and to also work with the nature parks authorities to make sure some of the upgrades and infrastructure of nature park facilities will also install solar powered. So this is also the thing across all the nature parks management. And we also in the process of actually identify perhaps to see if there's any financing scheme that can enable a quicker transition of adopting the solar power or renewable energy in the MSMEs in the area of blue economy. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Just to elaborate on the initiative that Pek Chuan mentioned relating to renewable energy, we have a project which is currently in its very early stages that is focusing on formulating a guaranteed financing facility where the private sector, and in this case specifically guest houses, MSMEs, would have access to relatively concessional financing to make investments into renewable energy. Currently, we are doing the initial demand side analysis, after which we'll be formulating the financing, the structure of the financing facility itself. Our main counterpart on this project is the Capital Market Development Authority, and CMDA would ultimately be implementing the project through the banks. So that is the ongoing initiative that we have that relates to renewable energy at the time.
So that means local banks, is it? Mamdu, Funadu constituency.
Thank you. My second question is, we see a lot of NGOs led by youth, especially in our islands. When they finish their secondary education, they start an NGO with a small group. But we see they are not aware of how to reach the programs that are facilitated or targeted to them actually. There's a break somewhere in between, or they are not just aware of these programs. There are a lot of NGOs in Maldives, in this capital city and in our islands that are specialized for these environmental issues, and they have done within their capacity. They have done a lot of works like coral planting with a small scale. They lack funding, they lack awareness, and also they don't even know how to reach the right people, the right groups. Is there any program or any plan on reaching these NGOs and facilitating or helping them in uh, carrying forward these projects, the small projects, small scale projects in those islands or in here in Maldives? There are some projects that have been successfully completed, but there are a lot of NGOs. Uh, they just lack awareness. They just lack the reach to the opportunities to reach the right groups. They don't know that they don't know the right path. Is there any program or any plan on reaching out to them from UNDP side, to those NGOs, to those islands? Is there any program like that or any plan within UNDP right now?
Thank you for the question. I think the main vehicle through which we actually work at the very, very grassroots level directly with communities, with civil society organizations, is our small grants program. So this is a grant program that is open for NGOs to engage with, and one of the things that we really focus on through this program is actually building the capacity of NGOs when they are recipient of a grant. We engage with them to build their capacities in project management as well as their capacities in other technical areas. So, and this program has been going on for successive years, and through this we have engaged more than 130 various NGOs. This also is a vehicle through which various community initiatives are successfully incubated. So there's a lot of success stories attached to this program, and a lot of the calls for the grants actually happen openly, so there is opportunity for different NGOs to apply for these grants and to benefit from the capacity building elements as well.
It's now for Mulak.
Thank you. My next question is here in this environment committee, we do the policy making level decisions here. Normally, the bills that are related to the environment comes here, and we overlook it before we send it back to the floor. So basically, is there any way or any method currently utilized by UNDP to offer us legislative support when we are drafting or when we are making amendments to the bills related to environment? Is there currently any support that you can offer this committee? And the next thing is we actually really want to adopt the way other countries, how internationally these kind of policies that we are making are practiced. We want to refer to the world around us, how they are solving problems and issues, and is there any way that UNDP can help guide this committee works to the right direction? Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chair, and I'll ask my colleagues to also jump in as well. Overall, through the work that UNDP governance program is doing with with the Parliament. One of the potential areas for collaboration that we do see is to build capacity on legislative analysis generally by applying different lenses to how bills, amendments, resolutions, these things are reviewed. This could be within the lens of inclusion or lenses of gender, communities, and how consultations can be done. We've also discussed the utilization of internationally used checklist perhaps and standard elements that can be looked into by the committee when reviewing any bill. So this could be, for this I do see an area of collaboration in the future. At the moment, unfortunately, we do not have committed funding towards this, but this is an area that we will be lobbying for when we do develop, say, proposals or asks for further partnerships. And something that could be considered also similar to the, say, Practice Parliament series, where financially as well there was a contribution from the People's Majlis to work on, to continue the Practice Parliament series. We could also consider a similar modality to co-create a program along these lines with the People's Majlis, where UNDP can also co-finance and along with our technical support as well. We do have access to international tools and resources through our regional as well as global networks that we have. So definitely we could facilitate knowledge exchanges as a start. We can look into available possible tools, maybe through maybe webinars or an exchange to start off with, which could build into a bigger program. On analysis of climate-related bills in particular, that could be an area of focus that we can then apply later on.
Thank you very much for the time and giving us the information on UNDP and how we can collaborate with the UNDP. And now we will conclude, since there is no more question from any of our members, we will conclude this meeting. Thank you very much. We hope to work together shortly. Thank you.